saying this is going to be a very different style video than I usually do. Most of this is just going to be off the top of my head talking about my thoughts on Nightreign, so I do apologize for this video being a little unorganized, but I really just wanted to talk about this game before it comes out because I'm so excited for it. Elden Ring Nightreign is just a day away for us, and I don't know about you guys, but I am excited for this. Elden Ring Nightreign is this new take that Firm Software is giving us on the Soulsborne formula. It introduces competitive roguelike elements in a fast-paced combat system, and I don't know about you guys, but personally, I think this is a welcome change. Not necessarily for every game moving on in the future, but just for an individual IP. While it does bring new challenges, new experiences that usually comes with its own criticisms or technical issues, it has limited exploration and a sort of lack of any coherent story or objective. And that is completely okay for what this game is trying to accomplish. That $40 price tag is a success to me. You will get your $40 worth. I did play in the beta test. I was one of the people lucky enough to get a code. I actually didn't get a code, my girlfriend got one for me. But this is just my take on everything that this game is all about. But this is just my take on why I think Elden Ring Nightreign is going to succeed so much. Really, I just want to list some good gameplay and design mechanics that I'm a big fan of. First is the fast-paced combat. It really emphasizes quick decision making amongst a team. Everyone has to be on the same page if you're playing in a multiplayer setting. Now there is the solo aspect, but we can get into that later. I'm a big fan of the 3-day expedition structure. It provides a clear goal that encourages replayability and teamwork. Everything has to be done within those 3 days. And honestly, the biggest thing that I am looking forward to is the unique Nightfarer classes, 8 in total. Every one of them has distinct abilities that encourages varied playstyles. I love this. You can go into any encounter and have a different experience based on who you're playing. For instance, I could go in as the Revenant and summon 4 different spirit ashes to fight for me. Or I could go in as the Executor, and now I'm playing Sekiro all of a sudden, parrying all the attacks and getting counters in, or turning into this giant fucking werewolf thing. I don't know. It's just really cool. I see a whole lot of replayability aspects with this system, and I'm really glad that they did this. There's also the permanent unlocks and relics. Now, you are going to have to unlock some of these classes. I believe the Duchess is going to be an unlockable class. The Duchess was one of the characters available in the beta test, and she was probably my second favorite, just under Wilder, but unfortunately you're not going to be able to play her on the launch of the game. You're going to have to unlock her, but once you do, she's just there. You can always pick her or any other unlockable character that the game gives you. The same system is with the relics. Every time you go into a match, whether you win in all the way up to day 3 defeating the Night Lord, or you lose on day 1, you're still gonna get relics, you're still gonna get Merc, all of which are important to the whole gameplay system of Elden Ring Nightreign. The relic system is really cool, and I think it gives some diversity. Although the relic system is kind of overshadowed by the remembrance quests that each unique Nightfarer will have, they will be able to receive their own designated relics that are kind of overpowered, but there's still room for randomized relics to be earned. Whether you are looking for something to increase a specific stat, or you're looking for something that alters the way you play the game, it's going to be there. Another thing I'd like to talk about is just the structure of the game. At max, these runs are going to be in 45-minute sessions, or something close to that range. It makes it so every run you do is focused, and I'm glad it's a 45-minute session, because if it was an hour or even 2 hours, it would have dragged on, there would have been too much to do, and the player would have been just kind of left to do nothing, because in the beta test, I was able to clear the entire map with randoms on some games, and with any extra time, it really would have just been boring. Another thing I would like to talk about, I did kind of skim over this in the relics, but every single Nightfarer is going to have their own designated quest lines called Remembrance quests. You can access these quests in the Round Table Hold. By the way, this new Round Table Hold looks fucking amazing. I love it. Remembrance quest lines are for the lore nerds of the series, which I'm glad they finally are able to give concrete storylines rather than this ambiguous, interpret it in your own way method. I was never really a fan of that. I mean, I'd have to go on YouTube and watch Vata Vidya for any information I wanted to learn about the story. And these Remembrance quest lines give you a deep dive into each one of these specific characters, so if you really like one of them, now you can really like their lore too. Not to mention, each one of these characters is going to have unlockable skins with Merc, the currency that you get for just playing the game. Again, don't have to lose, don't have to win, you're going to get Merc. And some of these skins are really cool. They have the Onion Knight from the Dark Souls trilogy, they have the main guy from Dark Souls 2, even Solaire from Dark Souls 1. It's just fantastic. I'm a big fan of this system, and it's another layer of something that the player can work for. Another good thing, the world and art. Visually, this game just looks amazing. And that kind of goes along with the environments. You see around the game. The skybox for the boss fights at the end, the new pop-up events like the volcanic craters or rot-infested woods, the giant Noxtella city, everything just looks so visually appealing and has that signature From Software aesthetic. It really does remain strong even for this spin-off game. The biggest part of Elden Ring Nightreign is this new roguelike structure. This is what separates Nightreign from every other FromSoft installment, that and the whole multiplayer thing. With new permanent relics you can unlock and class-based progression, it really supports some level of replayability, and there's already so much replayability. There's going to be 8 Night Lords you can take on, each with their own set of bosses and enemies and areas leading up to them. And not to mention, this game already has a DLC planned. I bought the deluxe edition, only $55. And you're telling me GTA 6 is going to be $100. Right, I'll spend more time playing this game than I will on that, I'm just saying. I'm going to get my money's worth. I think you guys are going to get your money's worth. It would be very hard not to. And I'd say this is probably the most accepting kind of gateway game into FromSoft's catalog. I have 2 friends that never played any of the FromSoft games before. Well, I take that back. They've tried it and given up very easily. They haven't really given it a shot. And I think Nightreign is going to be that gateway for hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to really sink their teeth into what From Software has to offer. It's nice to finally have a game that is able to do that in such a unforgiving series. It's a very relaxed take on everything we're used to, and I really welcome that, as long as it's the only one that does it. Unless Nightreign is this huge overwhelming success and they want to make a sequel or just a completely different game based on Nightreign, that's cool. But I don't think Nightreign's format is the way to go moving forward. I think we should shift back to what Elden Ring did, or what Bloodborne or Sekiro did. Everything needs its individuality while maintaining the signature aspect of what From Software is. Now here are some negative things that I have heard or have experienced myself through the beta test. In the beta test, I'm not sure if it'll be like this come release date, but there was a whole lot of technical issues, matchmaking issues, there's no crossplay, and there was a lot of bugs and glitches. Now, I'm sure they fixed a large amount of those bugs and glitches. I'm not saying all of them, there's going to be some when the game releases, but I'm not too worried about that. I am, however, worried about matchmaking issues and not being able to use crossplay. I foresee people getting into 3-player matches and having another person leaving 2 players to deal with 3-player scaling difficulty. It can be unfair, but manageable. And I feel like not incorporating crossplay into this game is such a fumble. It was the first game that Firm Software finally implemented multiplayer into, and they just fumbled. They just dropped the ball, no crossplay, which I get it. It's hard, it can be hard to do, or it was just overlooked, but I mean, it was so easy to attain. And one more thing about the matchmaking, please, Firm Software, add duos. I understand everything is scaled to solos and trios. However, in just like an update or even when the DLC for this game releases, please add duos. There are a lot of people, including myself, who just want to play this game with one friend. Maybe two, but a lot of people are looking for that one. I see a lot of people pointing negativity toward the streamlined leveling system, and I don't really understand where that hate is coming from. They think that the leveling system is oversimplified and it doesn't allow for creative build making, but every character is able to use any weapon, and this game is all about speed. You can't be stuck in menus for 2 minutes. It needs to be instant, and I'm glad that they were able to do this in a quick, easy, and accessible way for every single player. It makes it so that people have more time to explore, kill bosses, get runes, come back and level up. I think that's great. And another thing I have noticed is replayability limits. Videos coming out, especially recently, people are saying they've fully beaten Elden Ring. They've rolled the credits, every boss has been defeated, and it feels like they can't really do anything else. But it's a roguelike. The game is built to be as optimal as possible. You always are going to go back for the best relics possible. You want to collect every one of the skins. You want to get every single trophy. I guarantee you, most people are going to surpass the 40-hour mark on this game, and it's a $40 game. I just played through Doom the Dark Ages, and I got the Platinum Trophy in 20 hours. I paid $70 for that game. I paid $40 for this, actually $55 because I got the deluxe, and I'm still going to play that twice as much as Doom Dark Ages, which is insane. And one more thing that I want to point out is people have been complaining about asset reuse, but I think that brings so much character to this game. When I was watching the Red Bull event stream and I saw the dancer from Dark Souls 3 pop onto my screen, my jaw dropped. It's my favorite boss of Dark Souls 3, excluding the DLC. There's just so much room for creativity here. And I know that they didn't add a whole lot of those bosses into the base game now. I believe there's only 6 of them, 2 for each of the Dark Souls games. But there is so much room for this game to update. I don't know if they're going to do like monthly updates where they add enemies, or in the DLC they're just going to add a shit ton of enemies, Night Lords, classes, just everything. And if they do, it was only 15 bucks. Shadow of the Erdtree was $40. The DLC for Elden Ring was the same price as the base game for Nightreign. Just think about that. I really think that this game is going to succeed, and I think there is a lot to be excited for about it. I understand people's complaints about it, but wait for the game to come out. Really get hands-on experience, put time into the game, and then we can complain about it. Anyways, this has been Bonfire Project. I am going to be playing the shit out of Nightreign when it comes out, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. I'll be posting some community posts. I would love to hear all of your ideas or opinions about Nightreign when it comes out, or even beforehand. But you guys take care, enjoy Nightreign, and I'll see you guys later.